You know, that's the intro now to the live stream.
I timed that one really well.
You did.
One called The Dog is Even for Biscuits.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Double D's live podcast with me, Sarah, and Muir, and Fiona eating the dog biscuits. Or the other way around.
Well, you want real life, guys. That's what happens around here.
Yes, exactly. Muir, how are you?
I am not going to lie, Sarah. I am absolutely shattered. I'm grand, but I am tired. Do you know what? Hands down to anybody who works in any form of hospitality over Christmas. I bow down, guys. I absolutely full respect. Full respect.
Level, isn't it? It's a whole other level. Look, before we go any further, let's just introduce this episode. It is episode 12 of Double D's Live Podcast, and it is kindly sponsored by the amazing crew over there at Equitas. We have a giveaway to run. We put up a poll earlier on our stories and just asked people what part of the WhatsApp game they would like us to play. We gave them 3 options for what words we have to put in. I have not tested these words. Mar, have you tested these words?
No. And I actually purposely didn't even look to see which ones they picked so that I couldn't cheat and test them.
I know which ones have the majority vote, but I put them in stock, but I haven't put them in, and it's worrying me, put it that way. But we'll deal with that when we get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. We have an interesting episode coming up this evening. As many of you may know, we are right slap bang in the middle of 16 days of activism. So we will be talking about that. We also have another topic on the back of Muir's busy week. And we will have a couple of things lined up alongside of it. So, Muir, carry on your catch up. How are you?
I am grand. Work obviously is just crazy busy. I was explaining to Sarah earlier on how I left Dundrum at 5 o'clock today and I got home 10 minutes ago, lads. How people travel.
And that's about 3 hours.
About 3 hours, yes. Yeah. Sorry, yes. Just short of 3 hours. It takes me an hour and 17 minutes to get to work. That's
Is that not okay, so I used to work in Dublin and commute out to Meath, which was an hour. When I was in the airport, it was 50 minutes, 45 minutes, not bad. But if I was stuck in traffic or I was waiting to get out of our industrial estate and I spent a half an hour, it would drive me insane. I could have had the best day in work, and by the time I get home I was stressed.
It's not, I don't mind the driving. The driving doesn't bother me at all. I stick on my book. I have my little bit of time. I come up with 47 ideas that I regularly have to pull over and write down and have a little think about. And when am I going to do this? What am I going to do? It's when I'm sitting in traffic that it drives me insane. I have no time for traffic.
Well, it's for me, again, I love driving. I'm like you, a podcast or a book, I for my self-care. What drives me insane is the waste of time. The million other things I could be doing.
I'm quite lucky in some respects because the hours are a little bit odd. So I generally will only get one side of the traffic. But I actually couldn't justify, and I'd love to know the figures on it. If you lived in Carlow, right, and you worked a 9-to-5 job, office in Dublin, how many hours do you spend sitting in traffic? I couldn't. Now, I am very lucky in another respect. My sister lives in Kilcool. I can stay with her. So if I'm learning all the ice lingo now, lads. I feel like I'm down with the cool kids. So when they scrape of water in the evenings, check me out. Knowing what I'm talking about. And when they're doing that.
Carry on.
Basically, after every ice skate, I had no clue about this. After every ice skate, the ice has to be scraped, which is big yard scrapers, basically. And they scrape off all the snow. And then in the evenings, then when everybody is finished, make sure that the ice is ready for the next day. They have to water it. So they have to scrape it and sweep it and make it all pretty. And then they put the water on top to freeze to have it ready for the next day. But that takes, oh golly, I don't know, like an hour and a half. So sometimes I have to stay out. No, I don't help. I'm quite selfish. I sit there and smile and nod and tell them they're all wonderful. But it also results in wet toes, and I can't be dealing with that. So sometimes when that happens, I stay with my sisters. So that's not too bad, because that's only about half an hour down the road. That's grand.
Yeah, it's workable. It's workable. So have you been getting up to anything else outside of work?
No. Oh, I did. I started, so I had last Friday off, and we had the start of like our little Christmas celebrations. So I took Fiona out of school early because I said, life is short, like this. So I collected him at 1:00 on Friday, and myself and my mum brought himself and my nephew Irla to Ken Black's, like the one of the toy shops here in Carlow, and they picked their little Christmas presents, and then we went and had McDonald's. And like, Irla's 5, he actually, lads, I would obviously have to get his parents' permission, but he's in his school play tonight. And like, I know I'm biased, but oh God, he's a little doting. Oh golly, and the best of company. And he's just a dude, but he loves Fionn. So like when we went to collect him from school, he literally, like, he squealed with excitement. I was like, this is Christmas. Everything else can go with it. This is what Christmas is about. So that was lovely. That was very, very nice. How's about yourself? How's John and the kids?
All very good. We've had a busy couple of weeks actually with different events and bits and pieces. So I think I told you before that myself and John kind of went on this like comedy buzz. We wanted to carve out a bit more time for ourselves. Like, obviously with 2 young kids, it's nigh on impossible to kind of have any quality time. Well, it's nigh on impossible to have a conversation, never mind any quality time, like, like getting substantial time to ourselves. So we Mark, can you just check and see if we're live on Instagram there? I think it is.
Hold on now. I'm on this on my phone, so if I'm
just trying it again there and see. Yeah, okay. I think it's picked it up, probably just a little bit late, but anyway, we'll carry on. Okay. What I was going to say was we wanted to spend a bit more time together, and because obviously kids and hangovers don't go very well. It's not for night outs, you know what I mean? And then for something different, we have started to go to kind of like comedy night. So we went to one there in Navan a few months ago, and then we went to Paul Smith a couple of weeks ago. He was in the 3 Arena. He was very, very good. Now it's not something. He's quite rude. Like, let's be clear. He's quite rude, and it's
he's not for everybody.
He's not for everybody, but he's very good at what he does, if that makes any sense. So we didn't have the best seats in the world. We were up kind of, but in the 3 Arena it doesn't matter, but it was a pure sold out gig. And it was really good, and it was really just a nice evening out. We went and got Eddie Rockets beforehand, and oh my God, whatever they put on the chips, Eddie Rockets, I just wanted for everything. I inhaled them. I absolutely inhaled them. It was ridiculous.
You can buy the Eddie Rocket secret sauce in Dunnes Stores. I'm going to get it for you for Christmas.
Stop.
Yeah.
You should have seen me. I was like a cage. I don't know. I was pretty hungry. I was starved by the time I got up there, and it was cold, and we were queuing outside for a while. So by the time I got in, I was like, nom, 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 nom. Like, stop it.
I love it.
And I was like, cheese for everything, please.
Cheese.
So that was a lovely night. And then, like 2 nights later, myself and my mom went to Deirdre O'Kane in Drogheda, and she was brilliant. Really good.
I love it.
Really, really good. And then this Saturday, we have another one kind of local to us in Navan that we're going to go see. I know nothing about them, but to be honest, the thing about the comedy thing, I don't think you have to know anything about them.
You really don't have to. It's not.
You can enjoy it without knowing anything. So yeah, really looking forward to that. And the other thing that was
come here.
Yeah.
Going back to Eddie Rockets for a second, because I saw a squirrel in the middle of that.
Of course you did.
Right. I'm really odd, like, you know, I'm really odd with what I eat, and I'm a bit particular. So the lads have been talking about Five Guys, right? And this amazing Five Guys. And I got myself all G'd up, and I was like, this is it. So Shane was up the other day, and he was like, Muir, I'm getting you Five Guys. We're going to try it together. It is not for me at all.
I think the only time I've had Five Guys was in Texas when I was away. I haven't had it here, so and it was a long time ago. So I probably can't.
Try it and see what you think, because I'd like to know.
It's obviously in Dundrum, is it? I don't know if it's anywhere else.
I don't know, actually. I don't know. It's definitely not in Carlow. But anyway, sorry, I was only wondering about your Five Guys.
I really don't think it's in Navan. Although
we're just
but yeah, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, myself and John. So we started this kind of thing, not meaning to, but like, right. So when I'm in the house, I frighten really easily, which is really stupid, right? Because I know who's in the house and what's going on, but depending on what I'm doing and where my head is at, like if I'm writing something or I'm concentrating on something, and I scare really easily. And John came in one of the days, kind of half knowing that I wasn't paying attention, took advantage of this and absolutely lifted me out of it. Right? So then the next day, I was trying to get him back, but he came in the back door. I heard him come in the back door, and I said, right, I'm going to hide behind this door now. I'm going to wait for him. Sure, he was washing his boots. He was changing his clothes. He took a bloody... By the time he came in, I needed to pee. You know when you get that nervous pee? When you're waiting, I used to get up. When I was a kid playing hide and seek, I was like, I have to go. So I ended up having to walk into the utility room and just go to the toilet and be like, yeah. Save it for another day. Oh God, I was like, what have I started? But anyway, it's a bit of crack. It's a bit of crack. But the girls.
You could make a fortune on TikTok with that, Sarah.
Oh, I know. Stop it.
People make their livelihood out of that stuff.
Far too much thought goes into that. But the girls have been good. Not a bother on them. Paige absolutely adores preschool. Absolutely adores it. Like she's running into preschool, which is so nice.
Oh, that's amazing, Sarah.
Bree has started talking all of a sudden. Yeah. Mama, where are you? She starts all these random words coming out now. It's amazing. She's just listening to Paige, and she's obviously just absorbing everything, but she's just a little character, so keeping us busy. We put the tree up at the weekend, and they have just been obsessed with it. Absolutely obsessed with it. So it's definitely a little bit of magic happening.
Yeah, 100%. And come here, will you do a Santa trip?
We will. I kind of have this thing where, when I say this thing, this is my third Christmas being a parent, but like every second year I'll probably do a big Santa kind of experience. You know what I mean? More for me than the kids. Let's be really clear about it. But like last year we just kind of we went and did the Wildlight in Dublin Zoo last year, and then we did Santa separately. So this year there is an evening or whatever it is in Loughcrew. It's kind of like
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's probably the guts of an hour from me, even though it's still in County Meath, I think. It's probably been an hour from me, but it's they do a walk through the woods, all these lights, and Santa at the end of it. That's gorgeous. I mean, they absolutely loved the Wildlight at Dublin Zoo last year. Like, absolutely loved it. And Brie was only a few months old, but she just absolutely loved it. Yeah. She just sat there and watched it the whole time, and Paige was just absolutely loved it. So I highly recommend if anyone is thinking of it. And yeah, that's kind of all that I have planned. Now, doesn't mean to say I won't kind of like nip in somewhere else and
there won't be big,
but there's nothing else. I don't think they'd be missing out if they don't. So yeah, that is about it. I don't think there's anything else. I'm sure there was loads that I wrote down, but I didn't highlight them. Will we get on to the first topic?
Yeah.
because we want to make sure we give it enough time. So the main topic we want to discuss today is the 16 days of activism. So I'm just going to give you a brief outline as to what it is and maybe some of the stats around it. So 16 days of activism against gender-based violence is a key international movement to call for an end to violence against women and girls. They have an acronym like VAWG. Like the fact that there's an acronym for violence against women and girls just astounds me. But anyway, it's here. And it's here for good reason. It runs from the 25th of November and right through until the 10th of December. So we're smack bang in the middle of it now at the moment. And the 10th of December is Human Rights Day. So that's when it finishes up. Basically, it's an opportunity to raise awareness and show support for those who have experienced gender-based violence. The global campaign also allows us to show solidarity among those working to prevent gender-based violence, to strengthen the work being done, and to call for action for those who can affect change. This year's theme, which I think quite hits home, is #NoExcuse, and it's Unite to End Violence Against Women. There is no excuse for sexual violence. We all have a role to play in creating a society where there is no tolerance for sexual violence and all survivors are supported. Obviously, it's very, very topical at the moment, just with everything that's been in the news and everything that's kind of coming to light. And chances are we haven't seen the vast majority of them. We know there's a lot more that goes on behind closed doors. There's some that has been reported, some that hasn't. There's a lot more that's not in the media, put it that way. But here are some of the stats around it, which are quite eye-opening. So every 10... Oh, it really is. Every 10 minutes, partners and family members killed a woman or a girl internationally in 2023. Every 10 minutes. So 736 million women, which is 30% of women aged 15 and older, 30% is almost 1 in 3, have been subjected to physical and or sexual abuse at least once in their lives. In Ireland specifically, 71% of callers to the 24-hour National Rape Crisis Helpline in 2023 were women. And that's according to the Dublin Race Crisis Centre. Like, it is just absolutely, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard to believe when you see those figures.
Absolutely terrifying. When I read those earlier on, and like, don't get me wrong, I obviously, with the jobs that we have and what we do, I pay close attention to what's in the media and what's happening and what people are speaking about. But when you see them written down like that and they're in black and white, it's so terrifying.
It's like, hard, isn't it?
It's just colossal. Like I mean, I'm in a very privileged position. I never had to worry about this. Like, God love pork. I said to raise his voice to me, in fairness to him, like, but it's never something that I had to deal with. But it's the strength of the women that are coming out, that are speaking, that are being so open and so honest, and it must be heartbreaking, because you know that it's going to tear people up. People are going to ask themselves, did they not know? Could they not see? How do they protect them? And it's something that I'm so conscious of with Fionny, because, like, he's obviously grown up looking at us working and going and doing, and like, we would very, very rarely, if ever, really speak about gender in our house. Everybody just does everything. That's it. Yeah. That's how it is. We just crack on with it and that's it. So he's growing up with really strong female role models. But I'd also like to think that he's grown up with strong ethics and a good, decent backbone, and that he could call out
male role models as well as the females.
Exactly, male and female, exactly. And how he sees the males that are surrounding him everywhere treating all of the females. Like, he came in the other day and was telling me that there was a lady in the mart bidding, and he said, "Mommy, it was the coolest thing ever. Like, she didn't give up. Good day going." I was like, "Yeah, she did." Like, it didn't make a difference if she's male or female, but fair play to her. You know, like, and that's what, because that's what he knows and that's what he loves. That's what strikes him.
How does it? So okay, so a mum of 2 girls now, not at that age. It absolutely petrifies me. The thought of them going out and having to, and I'm saying having to because it may not be an if. Like if it's 1 in 3, there's a high probability. I have 2 girls. One of them will have to deal with this at some point, and it terrifies me as to how I'm going to talk to them about it. And be realistic about it without putting the absolute fear of God into them. How does it, as a mum of a young boy who's coming up kind of into teenage years, and quite pivotal, I don't mean to put a lot of weight on that, but it is quite a pivotal time, and
100%,
I'm going to say delicate, for want of a better word.
But it is.
How does it make you feel as a mum? How have you spoken to Fionn about it? Would you?
I have, but maybe not in those type of terms. So we speak a lot about respect.
He's still so young. You're trying to protect him at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly. And I want him to be strong and confident, but Fionn is a really sensitive soul. And it's one of the things that I love the most about him. And everybody in the world is good. And that's the way he sees the world at the minute. And I don't want it to be naive, but I don't want to take that from him. I don't want to scare him or worry him. So we speak an awful lot about respecting people's boundaries, about being open and being honest. Like, he's had his little girlfriend and they have unfortunately broken up, and it was a bit heartbreak, and now that's all okay again and it's all fine. But he's very open in the conversations he has with me, because we've always had open conversations. So I have always said to him, regardless of what the topic is, I don't care if he wants to talk about why the grass is green. I don't care if he wants to talk about the difference between boys and girls, about sexual experience, but whatever the case may be. I have always said to him, just ask me. Just ask. I will do my best. If I don't know, I'll try and get you an explanation, but just keep asking. And look, I am in no way, shape or form an expert parent by any manner of means, but I think if I can keep that communication open, and if I can keep the lines of communication between us open, then it has to be a really good start. But I fully understand, like, it's something.
Like, I think it's a scary time for parents of girls, but it's also equally a scary time for parents of boys. Like, I just feel like it's time to educate them, to step up.
100%.
And the conversation is opening up, discussions are opening up far more, and just both parties to be able to understand and have that level of bravery that the women have that have come out and spoken about it openly, but then to have the level of bravery with the young guys. And that's why the video that I shared on Equitas earlier on was from Daniel Davey.
Daniel,
message, all men, but primarily to young men, and he's basically saying, let's call it out. Now, this was kind of backing up what Shane's article was on Equitas. We published it last week, and it was basically like, we can do more, you know what I mean, and what you can do. And it's still scary for those. You can say to these young men, you know, in your WhatsApp groups, in your friend groups, if you see women walking by and one of your friends says something derogative about them or disrespectful, you know, call it out. But that's also a really hard thing to do, especially for a young man, you know, and it has to be respected as well, like, and supported. It's just, it's not just straightforward. It does, as if I was a mother to a young man, I would be worried about that too, because that puts them in the firing line for other things, you know.
100%. And like, Fionn he's very lucky. He plays an awful lot of rugby, and he has a really good little rugby team, and like, they've all played together since they were 5 or 6, the majority of them. But even now, the little patches of conversation that you hear, or, you know, they're coming down out training, or they're coming off the pitch, or it has changed so much in the last year. And I don't mean in derogatory ways, or that they're giving out, or that I don't mean anything like that, but it's like, they used to be coming off going, I wonder what kind of sandwiches they have. Or do you think we'll get packets to Christmas after this match? You know, it was all very like,
Yeah.
you know, like I scored 7 tries. Well, I scored 8. Like it's the level that things move at and how quickly things move. And like even within society like that, like it's something that we speak about in the rugby club an awful lot. And it's something that I hope is spoken about in all sporting clubs, in all capacities. Like respect is respect. And you can be within a group of people. And I would love to think that if I was in that situation and somebody was saying something, and I know it's very different, I am not a teenager, far from it, but if I would love to think that I would be strong enough to be able to call somebody out.
Yeah.
Yvonne
you'd
is
like to
coming
think
in.
that was the case, but as I said, it's just not. It's
No,
not
it's
so
not.
easy, and so it's so important for
Yvonne
us.
has come in on Instagram here, Sarah. The push needs to come from the man too. Ben, my son, who is really cool, by the way. Ben, my son, came from a very full life of women, but Dad and my brother pushed the responsibility to show women respect, and now he has, thank God. And he's a really lovely kid, Yvonne. You should be really, really proud of him. And Caitlin has also come in. And Caitlin, go back to work.
Yeah, I think what Yvonne says there about Ben is that, and especially probably about her father and her brother, we can defend when we need to. I actually think maybe the onus is on men and young men to be more active in it and proactive about it, so that and to kind of prevent it. Like that's probably where their power lies, is in the prevention.
100%. Yeah.
You know, we can defend, we can help change, we can highlight, we can get justice, we can be brave in that score. But that's a really good point. You know, it's that it has to be pushed. The responsibility actually has to be pushed
100%.
more actively. So hopefully.
And it has to be generational change.
And can I ask you a question? Did you know about this 16 days of activism before this year? I didn't.
No, I didn't. Not until this year. I read about it. I read an article that somebody wrote, I'm going to say, I think, for The Independent. And even the stats in that were terrifying. But before this, I didn't, to be honest. No.
Right. No, because I didn't either.
I wish I did.
Yeah, it's just a little bit scary. Just to kind of wrap this up with a little bit of a resource, if anyone is struggling or wants to learn more about it, it's a global campaign, so you can find more information about it on unwomen.org. Locally, then there's obviously the Dublin Rape Crisis Centre if anyone needs more support there. But we leave a few links and stuff like that in the caption and the show notes. It's a difficult conversation to have, but right now in the middle of this, it's important. I think people need to remember to share, talk about it, support as much as they can, and just help to spread this. It's not nice that it's the first that we've heard about it this year, when it's been going on for a number of years, and we would like to be more proactive in campaigning on behalf and raising awareness for it, so other people hopefully will do the same and raise awareness and talk about it as much as they possibly can, and just let 16 days of activism have the most impact that it possibly can. And don't forget to use the hashtag of no excuse. Very important. Another thing that your man Daniel Davey said was that just with this time of year, it's actually really important to talk about it, because you're out more alcohol being consumed, work nights out, you're probably, 12 pubs and all this sort of stuff. You're meeting people that you probably wouldn't spend too much time with, typically, like outside of your immediate friendship group. Just to be vigilant, just to be aware, and just not to forget, I suppose, not to forget.
Exactly. Yeah.
So on to the next topic. Muir, what are your thoughts on this one?
First of all, Sarah, I forgot to ask you what you were drinking. I'm only after thinking.
You're drinking a red wine.
Oh, is it nice?
It is actually. I'm gonna say this like really, really Irish. It's like Dada, but it's like there's a father on the bottom of it. I just don't know how to pronounce it. It's a lovely one, I have to say. Now, when I started a little bit early tonight. So there's not much of it left. We're only halfway through the podcast. There's not much.
I think you should go and get yourself another one and come back.
No,
I know.
Absolutely fine. And I want to tell you why, because I have to, and I wasn't a big one to start off with, because we're away early in the morning looking at another horse. Oh. So I
a horse for you?
No, not for me. No, for a client. Oh. I wish. I'm living my life vicariously through her.
Very excited there for them.
Yeah, sorry about that. No. My up and coming is borderline 4 months old now.
Any day now, Sarah. Any day.
That's how up and coming she is.
Loads of time. I wanted to chat. So obviously, because my routine in life has changed drastically over the last couple of weeks, I am finding it really, really hard to get balance and really hard to find time for myself. And as I have always said, and will continue to say till I'm on death's door, horses are my sanctuary. They're where I find my safe space. They are my thinking room. Well, barring getting booked off in the middle of somewhere, but in general, they're where I switch off. They're where I'm my comfort zone. And at the minute, it's just not happening. Obviously, like the evenings are too short. I don't have an arena with lights. My horses are right. They're on their winter break. Yeah, they're fine. They're hardy, healthy. Not bother on them. Like they couldn't care less. They whinny at me when I come out with feed, and they're happy out. But I was finding it really, really hard to just give myself a bit of a break and figure out what I could do. Like, my mum suggested knitting. I think I'd rather chew my own toenails off. That would drive me insane. I wouldn't have the patience. I'm not going to lie.
I'm actually with your mum on that one. There's something really therapeutic about knitting. And you know what else is really therapeutic, which I used to do a lot of, and I don't anymore? Jigsaws.
I love jigsaws. I love a good jigsaw. I have to say, I've been with you on the jigsaw. The knitting, I love. My aunt used to knit, like she'd do amazing, and I used to love sitting listening to her knitting. Right. But I like my dad, and actually my dad is quite a good knitter, and he gave hours trying to teach me. Nah, I don't have the patience. I don't have the brain power. I just can't be dealing with it. So I was trying to figure out what I could do, bar watch TikTok. Drive myself insane trying to read the same page of a book 14 times because that was what was happening. I'm really interested
to hear this, because this was the one task that I challenged you with, wasn't it? The weekend.
Yeah, this was it. So I had a little moment at the weekend, guys. Not going to lie to you. I had a little shimmy moment that I wasn't very sure of my life and my capabilities at the weekend. So Sarah set me a challenge.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to figure it out. Yeah.
Next week I have a wobble and we live in sport.
I put my hands up. I had a wobbly moment, and now this week is starting to go okay again. So, do you know what I did? I bought myself a colouring book because I love to doodle, right? Bear with me on this.
No, I'm laughing because I get it, but it also reminds me of a conversation that I had with Kate, my friend, not that long ago about colouring. And go on, carry on. I'll fill you in again.
Is she for or against the colouring? Because I get both now, I have to say.
She's for. So I went to visit her one of the days, and we were sat at her kitchen table, and obviously the girls were colouring. And I looked at one of the colouring books, and I was like, Kate, I was like, did Sophie colour this in? And she was like, no, that was me. And I was like, what? And I was like, it was a bit of a moment for me, because like if Paige goes to colour, like I'll set her up with colouring, I'll come in, I'll draw hearts for her, she'll colour them in, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it tends to be, a standalone, independent play activity. Yeah. But while she's doing that, I can get something else done.
You can go and do, yeah.
But I just thought for myself, I was like, right, okay. And the next week, a couple of times that I did it, Kate obviously just sits and will spend some time with Sophie colouring. And I was like, that's actually really lovely. Like, I should try and slow down and do the same. And so one or two of the times I do it with her. And I do enjoy it. But I'm like, she then reaches over to my page. She tries to colour in part of it. I'm like, no, you're going into the line. And like, I'm like, okay, this is not as relaxing as it should be for me. But I get it.
It's like one of those like Instagram versus real life. Well, I don't know. Like, it's obviously very new. It was only at the weekend, but it seems. I always loved to doodle, right? Like, just randomly. Come here, pet. Can you hear Paige whinging in the background?
Did you get yourself pencils?
I did. I bought a little pack of pencils and I bought myself a little book. I did. I'm not next weekend. Yeah, because it means I can still think through everything, and I can still be processing things, but I'm not trying to overthink. I'm not trying to make lists. I'm not trying to completely switch my brain off, because that doesn't seem to work for me. I can't.
It's grounding with being somewhat productive alongside it.
Exactly. And I feel like I'm doing something.
Or the same way knitting would be, you're doing something, but you're doing it with a kind of you can't fully think about something else, but you can still let your mind wander.
Yeah. Exactly. And I can have a little bit of music on, or I can have my book or my podcast or whatever. And it like, even last night now, I don't know, whatever time I got home and I got into bed, but after driving and I was awake, I was like, how, if I go on TikTok now, this is it. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole of, actually, I know this is completely off topic, but, oh God, what is the name of the TikTok account? There's a TikTok account that keeps coming up on my For You page, right? And it's this, I'm assuming American. He hit 1 million followers the other day, and it's a man that orders private jets for people. Like, so say if I wanted to fly up to you tomorrow, Sarah, and I just ring him up and say, I want you to order this for me. How much is it going to cost? Right, I'll transfer it over. Oh my God, the colossal amounts of money. Like I am talking, like, you could buy a house.
Okay, no, hang on. No, I'm going to put a pause to this conversation, because you know that you have just done what your brain wants to do. Like, you've just hopped on the Muir train and gone choo-choo down the track. Go back.
Completely.
Forget about
Jane would say, I'm so thrilled. No, sorry.
I'm like, this is just, like, go back. Stop.
That is me to a T right there. Like. Yeah, no, I do. I am really enjoying it. I think it's, and like, joking aside and messing aside, like, this time of year is really, really hard. Like, it's a time of year that everybody thinks that they should be happy. Yeah. And they should want to spend time with people, and they should want to go out, and they should want to do this, and they should want to do that. Sometimes it's not that wonderful, and it's not that great, and you can be pulled and dragged in 47 different directions, and you mightn't have the capacity or the time or the energy or the resources to do all of those things. And no matter what it is, in whatever way it is, I think everybody needs something that they can actually switch.
There is a lot of pressure at this time of year.
Yeah.
Both internally, externally, financially,
everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere. There's pressure, there's barriers, and it's a particularly hard time, especially for equestrianism too. Just cold, long nights, dark days, and just cold, wet, and everything just seems harder. More horses in, a lot more hours spent. Having something that you can kind of just fall back on, that's your little kind of go-to. And even if that is like scrolling TikTok, I can't imagine it's the best thing in the world. It's good if you want to switch off your brain, but not if you should be processing stuff that's bothering you or thinking about what's bothering you.
Exactly. So while I do genuinely think, and like, even for me to have gotten to a point where I can admit that I had a wobble, like,
even even for you to admit that you've had a wobble, but then for you to take an active step to say, right, this might help me.
Oh yeah, and that would never have happened before.
That's
I
huge.
wouldn't have had I wouldn't have had the, probably confidence isn't the right word, but I would have gone, oh, just get over yourself.
Don't be
And then it'll build and build and build and build. Yeah. Don't be silly. Don't, just get on with it. Sure, aren't you great?
Yeah.
Do you know, you're working, everybody's safe, everybody's happy, just deal and go. And I think I've gotten to a point where I am now comfortable with saying, actually, no, everything is wonderful and everything is great. And I am very, very blessed and I live a very privileged life. But it is a-okay to have a giant wobble in the middle of that and not feel all right and vocalize it and talk about it and try and have a little think through and figure out why it's not all right and what is happening and what is going on. And like I say this like it was 6 months ago, it was second Friday, lads, like it was. You know? I don't have it all figured out and all solved, and I probably never will. But I think
it's always a work in progress, isn't it? And to be aware that it's always a work in progress, and just to remove the pressure of I have to feel better, I should be feeling better.
No, it definitely is. And let that be knitting or jigsaws or darts, as I look at Fiona with a dartboard behind me. Just something.
There you go.
Just something.
Yeah. Each to their own.
Yep.
But I hope you're feeling better, Muir, and just keep doing what you're doing. I know what I'm getting you for Christmas now.
We're gonna have really random Christmas presents.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so on to the fun part of the episode. We put up three sets of questions or 3 sets of words that people were allowed to choose from. I'm just going to check the final results just in case they've changed. And then I will select a winner.
Are we going with all 3 of these words now, or are we going with one of these words?
All 3 of the words, but one set. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So So the 3 sets that were put up was awkward, shocking, ridiculous. That is now in with 29% of the votes. Then we have cringeworthy, surprising, disastrous. Nobody wants to see that. And then we have funny, weird, and unbelievable, which has 71% of the votes. So I will go in and see of all the people that voted for of all the people that voted for weird, funny, and unbelievable. I'll scroll down and randomly. Okay, Lisa Doc won. Lisa McCarthy is the winner.
I was Lisa's bridesmaid. She's a very good friend of mine. Yeah.
Well,
she's a really good friend of mine.
Amazing. But she wants to know what's funny, weird, and unbelievable in our WhatsApps. So, Muir, to WhatsApp we go.
Okay.
Right. I'll go first with funny and come up with the first one. If I can type, that'd be great.
Do we have to clarify? Okay.
Okay, so the first one is funny, and it's a conversation between myself and Shane that we had only over the weekend. And he said something to me, and I was like, no, I was like, stop. I was like, that actually, like, gives me shivers when I hear that. And he said, I know, that's why it's so funny. So he keeps saying this
Shane, you did.
And I'm like, stop. And he's like, yeah, no, I know, that's why it's so funny. Because I was like, no, it's actually like
100% doing that on purpose.
It gives me shivers.
My one for funny is I was giving somebody some advice on at the start of a new relationship with the girl, and they had sent something and that person hadn't replied, and they were asking me for advice on what to do next, basically, that they didn't want the conversation to be over and what would they do. So I had said that I would send something funny or quirky and just say that you hope she had a great day. So that was my love advice.
Oh, that's good. A lag in the end. Yeah, that's good. Right, on to weird.
Oh, weird. Oh, this could go anyway.
So this is funny. This is actually between me. It's not a funny one. It's not funny at all. It's between me and my mom. My nana, my dad's mom, was taken into hospital during the week. She's okay, but she was just having slow breathing, whatever. So mum texted me and she was like, "Did your dad let you know about Nana?" And I says, "No." I said, "He never said." I said, "It's weird because I woke up thinking about her," which was very, very strange. Now I think I woke up thinking about her because I was reading. I keep waking up in the middle of the night and reading the book, and I think it's because I like the book. So I'm like, I was reading the book and there was this character in it and it reminded me of her. So I think that's why I woke up thinking of her. But then mom texted to say that she had taken a turn and she was in hospital. And I was like, okay, that's really weird. I literally woke up.
That is really weird.
So yeah,
but she's okay.
She is okay. She is okay.
Okay.
Yeah, she has dementia, so she can be, but yeah.
Weird. So the first one I'm not going to read out because it's actually quite rude. Okay. And I think we might go on. So I've gone to my second one.
Oh, right, okay. I like the fact that you're being honest about it.
Oh yeah. I'm not reading out the first one. So the second one is to one of my closest friends in the world. We were born 12 months apart. She's actually my first cousin. We grew up together, went to school together. I'm still very privileged to call her one of my closest friends, Evie. And I have no idea what we were talking about before this because there is about 5 very long voice messages, whatever we were discussing. And when I was a teenager, I had a really, really strange obsession with drawing eyes. I used to love drawing like full eyeballs, and I draw eyebrows and eyelashes. Very strange. Like was it my leaving cert or my junior cert for woodwork? You had to make a clock. And actually, I think it's still in mum and dad's. I made an eyeball. Like it's an actual eyeball. I don't know what. Strange obsession. So we were discussing. Oh yeah, like it was bizarre. Like bizarre. So Evie was lagging my weird phase of drawing eyes on everything. So thanks, Bruce, for reminding me how strange I was.
Okay, yeah, good to know. And the last one is unbelievable. I put it into mine, and it came up with my family group, the wider family group, and it is Savina and Dylan, so my niece and nephew, at a rock climbing up, scaling this rock climbing thing in place in Dublin. I don't know what it's called, but it's
okay.
Climbing zoner. Let's go with that. I don't know what it is, but anyway, they were there. They climbed up this huge wall. They have harnesses and everything. And Dad was coming in with he came in with unbelievable, I'd be shitting myself, and poo emojis. Dad's afraid of heights.
I love your dad. I love your dad. Such a legend.
So yeah, he was like unbelievable and poo emoji. So that's and of course searching on the kids are like that, like
my one for unbelievable is actually it's lovely. So do you remember during the middle of the summer, well actually I've spoken about Ciara and her son Jake an awful lot, in fairness. Do you remember myself and Shane went down to meet Ciara and her son Jake, who speaks about having autism, and they have a beautiful chestnut horse. So I got a unreal video of Jake jumping at the weekend. And he is, like, I cried. Like, he is just, the pair of them are absolute superstars, absolute rock stars to them. So it is me telling his mum how unbelievably proud I am and how it's just unbelievable stuff, and they have come so very, very far. So that's a lovely one to get, actually. Yeah.
I actually really like these names because they kind of come up with everything. They come up with like
everything. Yeah, like, I do like stories, that was quite cool.
Like heartfelt stories, like, and stuff that you don't, and insights into kind of relationships, I suppose, which you wouldn't really think about. But
and ones that we would never really be talking about. I like that. We should do that one again, Sarah. That was good.
Yeah, I'll have to gather a few more sets of words that we can put in that aren't too incriminating. Okay, Muir, on to our rights and wrongs of the week.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with my right of the week, and it's, in a word, eggs.
Oh, I love eggs.
I love eggs.
Good eggs.
I am just, now bearing in mind, I made look, they're so versatile. I mean, like, come on, they're so versatile.
Yeah. Oh, there is nothing that can't be done with an egg.
Girls this morning, and again, cheese makes everything better, so I put cheese in it, and I put that much cheese in it, like it was so creamy. Like, this is not even scrambled egg anymore, but it was absolutely delicious. Yeah, I probably would have eggs at some point every day. What about you? What way do you like your eggs?
There is no way that I won't eat an egg.
Really?
Like,
so
genuinely.
If you were making just lunch just for yourself,
just for myself, my ideal lunch, right? So we're really, really lucky here because Eileen has all the chickens. So we generally have endless egg supplies, and like they're organic, and they're bright yellow, and they're just.
You can tell. Yeah.
But, so if I was going to make my favorite lunch, I would have a bagel toasted with crispy rashers, poached egg, little bit of avocado, and small little bit of sweet chili sauce on top.
Oh my God, that is like so weird because it's identical to what I'd have. Minus the bacon, only because I couldn't be probably bothered to actually cook the bacon, and I don't always have. So John likes to get the bacon in the butcher's, and he gets it towards the weekend for like a fry up on a Saturday. So I don't typically tend to have a stash of bacon in the house. But 100% bagel, poached eggs, avocado, and what I've been changing it up with the sweet chili sauce lately is Ballymaloe relish.
Oh, I love a bit of Ballymaloe relish. I love it.
So try it.
The happening in the background. It's my weird
obsession. How do you do your poached eggs? I
actually have a weird hidden talent. I'm really good at poaching an egg. I don't know what it is. I don't like, it's not something I've honed over the years. I boil the water. I don't put in apple cider vinegar, although mommy tells me I should, but I don't. I swirl it all up.
Keep them together, but go on anyway.
Yeah. See, people keep telling me this, but I just swirl it, drop it in, and that's it. I don't seem to have a problem with
Right, you want to know what I do?
Go on.
I do them in the microwave.
Do you?
Yeah. So what I do is I put a bowl.
Yeah.
Hot water, boiling water.
Yeah.
And I crack 2 eggs into it, and then I put them in the microwave for like 1 minute 20 seconds. Done.
Oh, I'm going to try this now. I'm going to have to try it.
Sometimes I will put them back in for the 10 or 15 seconds just to make sure that they're properly done. But they are just absolutely perfect. Like literally, by the time your bagel is done, it is ready to go. It's
Muir, do you have an air fryer?
I do. I'm thinking about upgrading as well.
Right. Get your bagel, right?
I have tried this to an epic fail. Yeah, I've tried it. I don't know. I must have done it wrong. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the egg to cook properly. I ended up having to like dissect it and make sure that it was done.
The egg. Oh, rage. Oh,
the bagel could have been too small. I don't know. But I did try.
If I've done it twice, maybe 3 times. First time was a little bit dodgy. Now I'm not going to lie. First time I was not very sure. But I actually would have given my left arm for somebody to make me the second one again. It was just...
okay. So maybe I just need to turn down the temperature of the air fryer and let it do more. Yeah. But anyway, so eggs are my right of the week. My wrong of the week is I have it down as laptop, but it's actually all technology.
Yeah.
My laptop needed a service. It needed the fan. To be seen to it.
Oh no!
Just makes me. I can't be without it. It actually makes me a little bit scary that I struggle to actually be without my laptop. And then the other thing was that I had to set up a label maker because thankfully we're super, super busy and envious, and the Envy band is flying out the doors. So instead of handwriting all of these addresses on the envelopes, I have invested in a label maker.
Love it.
Or a label machine, label printer. So I have to set that up. But to say that it took me about 3 attempts to set it up and 2 hours spent this evening was what it took me onto support to get it done. I was just like, this is driving me insane.
Yeah.
Now it's done, the bulk of it, but I was like, oh my God, like you just waste hours when something doesn't go right. Sure you don't.
It's so frustrating because you're sitting looking at it and you think it should be simple. Like even the other day, our laptop went to work the other day.
I tried the other day. Was exactly the same, only today it worked and the other day it didn't. I swear.
Yeah,
it was
100%.
Like, I don't know what
The
was doing.
laptop went to work the other day. I said, absolutely no problem. That's why I was smiling when you were saying about not having your laptop. I bring mine to work with me, just in case, like just to be on the safe side. And I get a little bit antsy if I don't, because I'm like, well, what if I want to do something and I don't have it? So it's always there. But there's a printer for our tickets, plugged it in, said, grand, this downloads driver, stick it onto it. No, I had to get Carly to come in to fix what I had done to set up the printer. Oh, no. I don't know how anybody works with technology, lads. It drives me insane.
It's one thing that will actually literally will drive you insane. So what's your rides and wrongs of the week, Muir? So
my ride of the week is oat milk. I have decided that things taste better with oat milk. Went on a big, Fiona's slagging me here in the background. I went on a big oat milk phase there a while ago. No oceans of that one. Went on a big oat milk phase a couple of years ago and decided this was it. This was going to fix all my woes and it was going to be wonderful. And then got really sick of it. But in the last couple of weeks, I have been trying to limit myself. I was getting really bad for drinking a lot of coffee, like a lot of coffee.
I was just going to ask, do you drink a lot of milk? Like I'm going to say via coffee.
Yeah, I don't drink milk on its own, but I would drink a lot in coffee. And because we have a coffee van in work and it's literally across the room from where I sit, and Kerry, the most beautiful lady that owns it, she's amazing. Like it's gotten to the point now where I just put up my hand and she goes, yes, coming morning. And she knows my coffee. Like,
dangerous, but heavenly at the same time.
Especially if you're really busy, because you can just kind of go, Carrie, and she has it and she's brilliant. Yeah. But I am really enjoying oat milk again. I have to say.
Love it.
And my wrong of the week is rude people. There is no need to be rude to people. It costs nothing to have a smile. It costs nothing to be polite. I fully accept that people have bad days, off days, aren't in form, social batteries gone. Lads, if you go into somewhere and somebody is providing a service, please just say please and thank you. Please. That's all I'm going to ask of you for this week. That is it. Plain and simple. All we'd like is a little tiny please and thank you. That's it. We had a group of, God bless you, of boys came in Sunday, Saturday, one of the days, and group of teenagery boys, and they all had their tickets pre-booked. I had my phone out. Every single one of them said please and thank you when they came to the counter, and I beamed for the whole rest of the day. They were all 13, 14, 15. Please, thank you very much. Please, thank you very much. No, there was lots of people that didn't. And sometimes I will call you out, and I'm not going to lie, lads. If you come to Dundrum and you don't say please and thank you to me, I will say it.
You get it. You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Take your tickets.
Yeah, well, that's not a public service announcement. I don't know what is. Just on that, please and thank you. We're obviously really, really big on manners, right? And so anytime the girls get anything, they're like, thank you. And even now, like if you give Brie back something in the car, you get a little thank you from the back, like from her car seat. And like it was a surprise at first because she's not supposed to be talking, but anyway. But Paige today, I went in to get feed in the local feed shop, and they're amazing. Like they're really, really good. It's Sean McEntee's in Nobbert. We've actually had them on as Business of the Week here.
Yeah, they are unbelievable. Yeah.
Zoe is incredible at what she does. But one of the times I went in, and this was kind of going a bit of a tangent, and I digressed a little bit.
Are you doing me on it, Sarah? Did you see a squirrel?
Well, it's actually fully relevant. So, no offense. But anyway. But when I went in the last time, I rang ahead and I paid for the feed. And when I drove in, they had it ready. I didn't have to get the girls out of the car. They helped me load it. I was gone out of there in 2 seconds because it's a very busy yard and it's quite small.
Yeah.
So whenever we go in, I have to park the car. I don't want to leave it in a place I need to leave it in a place that's convenient to get loaded, but I don't want to leave it in a place that's going to block the way. And obviously I have the 2 girls.
Yeah.
I'm longer than your average person getting in and out of the car or whatever. So I'm always very conscious of that. And today I went over and I couldn't ring ahead. They were busy on the phone. So I went in anyway, brought the 2 girls in. I parked up, brought the 2 girls in. And then I was paying and I was kind of being quite quick about it because the forklift I knew was behind my car. In the meantime, a big lorry had pulled in outside on the road, waiting to be offloaded. I knew then I was holding up the whole show, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, it starts building up in you. Anyway, the guy behind the counter Philip was his name, but he said he was talking to the girls and paid for the feed or whatever. And the next thing, he gave Paige a little Freddo bar. And she was a little bit tongue-tied, and then she came out and she was like, "Thank you," and that was grand. And I kind of was like, "Oh, thanks, Mel," whatever. And because I was in a hurry, just kind of hurried them out or whatever. That was grand. Got into the car. She the whole way home was looking at this Freddo bar, right? And I told her we could have it when we get back to Nana and Grandad's, but she looked at this Freddo bar and just kept saying, "Thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much." I mean, her day was made, absolutely made.
Just lovely.
I swear, I was like, "Oh, you know," like she was just like so grateful. So anyway, the guy's wife is a client of mine, so I messaged her and I was like, "Look, I just have to tell you what's after happening." He made her day. She's still saying thanks, and she came back and she was like, "God, she must be deprived. She must never get chocolate." And I was like, she really doesn't get chocolate that often, so she is deprived, and so grateful that she has a little Freddo bar that she has to share. Obviously, she has to share with Brie, like. But anyway, just to oppose your rudeness with ultimate kindness, I suppose. It's just
ultimate kindness. That is what we want this week, guys. Ultimate kindness.
And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I love it. Oh, that's so lovely.
We'll wrap up. Thank you so much again to the team at Arc Equine for sponsoring this week's episode. They've been incredibly supportive. They do feed, supplements, horse care products. So please do check them out at arcequine.com. And yeah, lucky for, I think it was Lisa. What did you say her name was, Mar?
Lisa McCarthy
that has won the prize for that. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much directly. Thanks so much for everyone who contributed and came in the comments, engaged with the voting poll on Instagram, and hopefully we will be able to join again this time next week. So we will keep you posted, and thank you once again.